Hi, I'm Eldon Dahl. I've been in the natural health business for the last 30 years. In 1988, I was licensed as a naturopathic doctor. January the 15th, 2009, armed RCMP officers entered our family home, followed by Health Canada agents. The search warrant that they produced listed items that are available over the counter at any U.S. health food store. For 11 hours, we were detained and kept like hostages in our own home, while Health Canada agents rummaged through our home, stripping our computers from our hard drives, went in our privacy of our bedroom and looked through my wife's private drawers, through private files, everywhere through the home. They made themselves feel at home, and we were not feeling at home. Our Canadian Charter rights were violated that day, and I would like to prevent this from happening to someone else. That's why I'm telling our story. The morning started out like any other morning. I was up in my office. My wife was at her desk, and Christina, our daughter, was sitting at her desk. So I looked out the window, and as soon as I looked out the window, I seen that there was about 5 or 6 police cars with their lights flashing, wanting to have entrance into the house. And in came 4 RCMP officers, one with his gun drawn out, and he said, "That is not cool, that is not cool." And my wife instantly, she took the surrender mode and says, "Please put your gun away, we mean you no harm, we mean you no harm, we're good people." And he says, "Do you have any guns in the house? Is there anybody else in the house? How many people are in the house?" And she says, "It's just my husband and I and our daughter." He says, "Come with me now." We're quite shocked now. I've seen a gun pulled, I see tasers on the guy. We're going to listen. So we follow him, and he sits us down on the couch, and shortly thereafter in came our daughter. He says, "What's all this about?" I said, "I don't know yet." And then so they come up with and hand me a search warrant, the RCMP officer. He wouldn't disclose his name or his badge number or any information at all. He said, "That'll be provided to you later on when the time is right. We'll document all this, and then you'll find out." And he says, "This is a search warrant for your house. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say could be used against you in a court of law." Do you understand what I'm saying? Not really. I don't even know why you're here. And well, you read this search warrant. I looked to my wife, and of course my heart is pounding, and she's nervous. My daughter is just freaked right out. And I start reading, and I says, well, am I under arrest?" "No, you're not under arrest." "Am I free to go?" "No, you're not free to go." "Well, then what am I?" And he says, "You're being detained." Oh, okay. I didn't know the difference between that and being free to go and detained and arrest, but I knew that I was a prisoner to under their discretion. So he said, "You have the right to phone an attorney if you want." And I said, "Well, I'd like to exercise that right." So I said, can I walk around and see what's happening in this house now, in our house?" He said, "No, you stay right here. It's for safety purposes." I said, "Safety purposes? Safety for who?" "For the Health Canada agents." And in came 3 Health Canada agents, and another one that was one trained for taking information off computers. And I said, "You're worried about for their protection? And yet I'm the one under threat in my own home?" He says, "Look, we could be much harder on you. We're treating you very low-key. We can either take you and detain you off-site in a detention cell, or you can cooperate." I wanted to get my cell phone and my phone book from my office upstairs. And when I went up there, I seen all the agents going through all our files, through our shredder and into all the drawers, and had all our file cabinets pulled out. And I just looked at this, and they're looking at trying to get into our computer systems. And I just was feeling so defeated. I felt just like such a victim. in my own home. I can't hardly describe the feeling. I just felt so betrayed. As a sanctity of my own home, and my wife and daughter have to see this and be under this. Just couldn't understand it. I have a corporation. Why wouldn't they make a call and say, we have an issue? Can we come and have a meeting? Why wouldn't they observe corporate law and follow the procedures? I just couldn't understand it. I wonder if they go into pharmaceutical president's home, if there's a problem, and just raid their family, and put their family in a big distress situation. I wonder when Maple Leaf had listeria, did they go into that person's home by gun? Did they go through all his records in his home, or did they just go to his area of work? I was just shocked over those things. So I went into our sunroom and closed the door behind me. And when I called him and told him what was happening in our home, he says, well, what I want you to do, do you have a video camera? I said, I have a video camera. He says, get a video camera and go and document what they're doing. You have to have this for later, for future reference. So I opened the door, very naive, because I think I'm going to be allowed to video tape what's going on. So I said to the police officer, my lawyer said I should be able to go and document what's being taken and being looked through with my video camera. No, you can't. You just, that's not allowed. So they won't let me videotape it. And then he says, well, do you have a camera? I says, yeah, I have a camera. He says, well, go and photograph it then. So I go out and say, okay, can I take my camera and go photograph what you're doing? No, you cannot. So I go back in and I said, well, he won't let me do that either. He says, well, you should have the right to walk around and photograph what they're doing. I said, well, I don't know what they're capable of doing if I tried to do that, so I can't do that. He says, well, then I want you to write down everything. Document every event that you can think of and write down everything that's happened to you thus far. I said, well, I think I can do that. They'll allow me a pen and paper, hopefully. And so I was permitted to do that. And I said, well, what good is my legal right to phone you if they won't let me do anything you say I can do? And he says, well, you're just going to have to cooperate with them now because they're in control. Your control is lost. And I found that very hard to fathom. It's one of our Charter of Rights that we're allowed to phone a lawyer and get legal advice, but when he tells you what to do, you can't do it. And I can't see why I couldn't see what they were doing in my home. This isn't their home. They're violating my territory, going through my personal things. So after the phone call, I went back to join my family on the couch. And then our daughter Christina says, puts her hand up, like in school, I'd like to use the washroom. Okay, you can use the washroom, but we'll escort you and stand outside the door. It's only a few feet away. You're going to stand outside while I use the washroom in our own home? He says, yes. Well, I don't know if I could even go like that. It's just, well, you will when you have to. And so eventually she went to the washroom and he stood beside the door. It's very humiliating, to say the least. And so this continued, this type of thing. When I went, I had put my hand up and I said, do you mind if I use the washroom? So they followed me there. My wife, the same thing. And in your home, you don't expect that to happen. You know, you feel this is a safe place. It wasn't safe for us. We didn't know what would happen. What if I would have made a mad dash into my bedroom? I might have been tasered. Everybody knows that incident that happened in Vancouver Airport by that Polish immigrant. Okay, he was non-cooperative. But I don't know what was being said to him either. And then they tasered him 5 times and all stood around him, over him, and watched him suffer. I didn't want to be treated like that, so I cooperated with whatever they said.